Start recording. So there we go. I think I've got everything set. So welcome. This is Design 301, Intro to CAD. This is the lecture on Thursday, November 5th. And you're supposedly been shown, or you've seen, most of the tools that you need to be able to draw. And now you're just going to be practicing drawing within the realm of what you'd like to do. And so I thought I'd take a little bit of a look at the floor plans and the architectural stuff today, since on Tuesday we spent a bunch of time on the mechanical. So this is kind of cool. And then if anybody has specific questions, I'll answer those. As soon as I'm done with these, we'll sort of drop right into the lab. So here's the interesting thing on the floor plans, and these are out of I put them back into the choice number 1 batch because they sort of belong right there. They're another type of basic architectural drawing. And let's take a look and see. So, and I made a video here. That's what this is. This is a video that you can watch. And so I'm not going to just play that because you can go play that. And same with this. There's the architectural Revit. It's kind of interesting once you've got the main thing drawn, what to do after that. So I'm going to move on with those a little bit. And then I'll do a little bit more on blocks again. And then I think you're ready. So what I want to do is look at the Jamboard really quick because I made a cool Jamboard for this about floor plans. So look, here's a floor plan that you're given, and usually these things that you find on the web they're okay. They kind of show some stuff. They give you a good idea, but they're not really designed. These are usually you're seeing something that somebody's trying to just do a good artistic vision so that somebody can tell what they're going to move into, for instance, if they're going to live in an apartment, or have the designer show the client 5 or 10 different things that they're interested in, maybe, and pick one and work with it. And then you have the interesting work to do. That's interesting. Why does that say 2.5? That should be 1.5. How'd you guys let me write that down wrong, even though you didn't see me do it? So here's a nice little floor plan. It's for a kind of a 1-bedroom apartment type thing, or it could be 24 by 24. Maybe that's a little bit big for an accessory unit. If it was maybe 18 by 18 or 16 by 16, that would be a really good accessory unit size that you could put in the back of a house without needing too much in the way of permits and things. But let's just say this is, and I want to make my floor plan. Well, I could just trace it, but then you're just tracing, and what's the advantage or the new thing of that? You want to get some design idea behind it. And one main design idea is that when you design something, the dimensions should make it easy to build. So dimensions that are easy to build for interior are multiples of 4, because sheetrock or gypsum board or wall board or whatever you want to call it is standard 4 foot wide by 8 foot tall. And the less you have to cut it and trim it and move it, the better. So you're going to lay this out in such a way that you can do that. Now, really and truly, you would do even more work because you'd have to take account of the wall board that's on here and then on the ceiling and all sorts of different stuff. But we're just going to do it the easy way. We're going to make the main inside dimensions some multiple of 4. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. And then I'm going to add my wall thicknesses. Okay, so now I have to know what a wall thickness is. Well, a standard partition is either a 2x3 or a 2x4. And you should know that a 2x is actually 1.5 inch thick. So it's going to be 1.5 inch this way. And a 2x3 is 1.5 by 2.5. So this dimension right here, right there, is 2.5. If I made it a 2x4, it would be 3.5. And my outer walls, I'm going to make a 2x6, so that's 1.5 by 5.5. So these two lines are 2.5 apart. These thicker lines are 5.5 apart. And then I got to figure out why this is a thick line. Why is that a thick line? I can see this one really easily. I don't know why that one's a thick line. Well, yeah, no. Piping can go in a 2x3 really easily, actually. And if you'll see that for multiple stories, the big pipes go right down here. But that's a good idea, that maybe there's some piping that goes in there. But piping usually runs in a soffit or right in here. So I think this one is heavy because it should be on the mid-plane, and that's going to be one of your structural supports for the ceiling or the roof. Okay? And I don't know why they would make this one. But you can do it. It's okay. It's cool. It doesn't hurt anything. Doesn't make a problem at all. Because look, all of this piping is going to be significantly less than the 1.5, and most of it is going to go, you're not going to run it through the wall. You're going to run it below and then come up with your 1/2 or 1/4 inch. That's really what I would do. And if this was multiple stories, it would run between the ceiling of one and the floor of the other. So who knows what they were thinking, but who cares? You get to do a design. The main thing then is you have to figure out how big you want this to be. So I said 12-foot wall, 12 foot, then 5.5, 5.5, 5.5. And now this length, I'm going to ignore this little thing because it can go kind of anywhere. So I made it 24 on the inside, 5.5. So I would start with a line that's 12, 2.5, 12, 24, and then I just match this corner up with this. So that's a pretty quick draw. Pretty quick draw. And then I would draw this, and I would draw this. I look at that and I go, I don't know exactly where that is, but if I want that to potentially be on the ridge line and be a support, I'm going to put that halfway across. So I'm going to draw down 12 and then draw across. And then I'll get rid of that wall. And then I'll do my offsets one way or the other. You can't get everything perfect unless you're just living in a square box. But you can do as much as you can. Okay, so that's the idea, is that you want to get this drawing kind of figured out ahead of time and then draw it. So you don't just start drawing, you figure. Okay, you do figuring. Now, when I did this in the video, I looked at this weird thing here where two doors, like if this door was open, you couldn't open this door. Or if this door was open, this guy goes bang, opens that one. So I moved this door up here. It just made sense to me. Now, maybe that doesn't make sense, or you want to put sliding closet doors in, or make it so that it comes over here and you have a pocket door. So you get to do all those types of things and figure it out. Okay. And the other thing is, I didn't make this door come into the bathroom. I don't know about you guys, but I want room to move that towel around and dry myself off and have room, especially in another maybe 6 months to a year when I'm so old that I'll be wheelchair bound. It's called universal design, by the way. Universal design, you design for the entire life cycle of who might possibly live there. And you can imagine that, you might have somebody who's in a wheelchair. And so you want to be able to do that. Like this tub, if it was universal design, I would not even put in a tub. I'd put in a small lip with a little bit of a slope either way. And I would just tile this whole thing. And if I wanted to, I'd even put a little bit of a glass wall right in there so that if my shower head was over here, it didn't spray too bad. You could just walk right in. It's called universal design for interior design people. And Professor Marie Cooley, that's actually her life. That's what she teaches and that's what she does. So I don't really know much about it, but if you're an interior design student and you're working with Professor Cooley, you're going to really learn that stuff, which is really cool. So I moved this door so that it went the other way. I moved the door way down to here and I made it open up this way because why not? And then I didn't really do any more work in there just to get started. Okay? So that's what I would do first. And then I would start my drawings. All right? Does that give you a little bit of an idea of how I would get going on? And then you just draw. Right? And you want to have good layers. You want your walls on a wall layer that are 0.028 thick. Your glass, you could even put on a window or glass layer. Things like your furniture should be medium, maybe on a furniture. These could even be on a plumbing layer. Laundry is usually not plumbing, even though it hooks up to water. It's usually on what's called a mechanical layer. And then you can just put some things in. So that would be the idea. Okay? If you're doing this one. And then you would make a block so that you could use this one on this one and the next one and the next one, a block for the toilet, a block for the tub or the shower, a block for the stove. Make blocks. So any questions on those really quick? Does those make some sense? Yeah, Jake? Okay, I'm going to ask you to look at the lecture notes from last time because I went over it, but I'll show that again. I'll absolutely show it again. Okay? And maybe I'll separate it out and make a separate one about how to, and I thought I did. Okay, well, remember they're all right in here, right? So you would go to here and either look there or, how to create a block. It's right there, demonstration. What do you mean you don't have the calendar? Everybody has the calendar. How do you find the calendar? Let's show how to find the calendar again. That's a good question. You go to home, and there's the calendar. That's the calendar. Right there. It's on the calendar. Right there. Oh, I see. No, I understand your question now. Okay. So sometimes I don't always. So look, you can either go to more details and it shows it to you bigger. See how it shows it to you bigger if you go to more details? Or see this little slider bar right over here? Ah, if you see that little slider bar, it says there's more information. Cool. There it is. How to create a blog. There it is. Okay. And I'll try to, and you can always send me an email. You put that in another spot. So I have an intern that's working on putting these all onto a website for me. But you can also Google my YouTube channel, Randy Schuster YouTube channel, and just look them all up because they're all in there. Okay, does that help out? But I'll go over that some more. Okay, good question. But here we are. So that's how to do those floor plans. Now I want to do one that's a little bit more difficult, and that's how to work with this architectural Revit stuff. So I need, here we go. I'm going to come into, so now this is a different project. Okay. And what you're going to see is normally, doesn't that look weird? Doesn't that look cool? That's my floor plan. Because it's got two sets of walls in it. The dashed walls are the walls that I started out with in my design. And the other walls are the new walls I'm going to put in. And these are dashed because they are going to get demolished. Isn't that just the wildest thing you ever saw? So now I can make a floor plan that only shows my existing stuff, because guess what? A contractor wants to know what's there to begin with. And they want to know what do they have to get rid of. And then they want to see what they're going to have to put in new. Okay, and you can even do the same thing in your 3D views. There's my original, and there's my new. Okay, so this is kind of a new thing for people. So the first thing, of course, is to draw the existing. And then here's what you do. Everywhere where you see a wall, you click on it and say, that's existing. And I'm going to demolish it in new construction. So you do that to all the things you're going to get rid of. And then you draw your new stuff. You draw new walls. And you draw your new walls. Watch, I'm going to draw a new wall. And I'm going to put in some new doors. Watch this. I'm going to put in a new door. What kind of door? That's a wall. A new door. And I just want a plain old crummy little door. I'll put a door right there. And a door right, put a door right there. And I'll put a door, I don't know. I'm just making something. I don't even know what I'm making. There we go. Now look, when I go to my new construction, I just see my new stuff. Isn't that the coolest thing ever? So that's your job. If you happen to be doing the Revit one, that's what you're going to do. You're going to, in your floor plan, and I showed you another way to do this, but in your floor plan drawing, you're just going to identify stuff that you drew and watch. when you click on something, when I click on a wall, I get to say whether it's existing or new. Okay? And if it is existing, I have to say if I'm going to get rid of it or not. Demolish. And then you make 2 new floor plans. You just go right click, duplicate the view, and I'm just going to call this one another new view. And in another new view, I get to decide what I'm going to show. I did? Why? Yeah, that's because I'm saying that I'm only doing my existing. So I want to put it back there. See? I didn't mess up. I was just showing different things. It totally is. It's a construction tool. It's not a drawing tool. It's a construction tool. Okay? So I wanted to show that to you. Now watch. I do need to put dimensions in, and we'll talk about those in a little bit. But there we go. And so now when I click on this little dot here, it moves it from outside to inside to middle of wall. And so you have to know a little bit about that, but just put them in for now. Okay? And usually what you're going to find is that there's a way that you do these. So you go from wall to wall on one layer. But then you usually have to go and kind of fix them up a little bit. And that one I want to be in. There we go. That one should follow suit. There. Oh, but these ones should also both go to the outside. So there's a little bit of work to do when you do these, but it's pretty straightforward. And then when you come down to your sheets, and I made a video to show you, okay, you put these on here, and you want to, oh, look at the, I got some weird stuff in there. Floor plan, I got some of these new doors as existing. Those doors should, oh, well, they're new construction. I don't know why they're, well, I can go hide them if I need to. But what I want to show you is that you want to put some basic dimensions on these, but we'll do the dimensioning next week. I'd like you this week, if you can, and you're working on this, to try to get these views to show up. That's what I'm going to hopefully have you do. Okay? So that's how you work with that. It's really a cool thing. You work in here and you call things not just where they are, but when they're made and when they're demolished. Okay? So that's what I wanted to show you guys on that. So now let me go ahead and I'm going to make a block. So let's say I'm going to do a little bit of work here. Say I want to make, I don't know, a block of a chair. So I'll get some images and I'll see, do I have any top view images? Not really, but here we go. Here's a weird little chair. There, that little chair right there. So I'd have to know how big that chair is. So I'll go to that chair and I'll see if it, there it is. It's 24 wide by 25 deep. 24 wide by 25. So I want to do a little bit of work. 24 wide by 25 deep. Okay, well, I know how to draw something like that. I'm going to show you. Okay, let's take a look and see what we can figure out about that. There's always 3 dimensions, right? 1, 2, 3. So which one of those is 41 high? Which dimension is 41 high? From here to here, right? So that leaves me 24 wide by 25 deep. So I'm going to say this is 24 wide by 25 deep. I just sort of do my best to figure it out. But I know that that 41 high must be how tall it is. And I look at that, it looks kind of like a square seat. So that's probably, that seat is probably 24 by 24. And then this probably sticks back an inch. That helps me figure out how to draw this. So if I draw down 1, and then over, that's probably my top view. And then I know that I kind of want to show some legs. Just so people know that it's kind of a chair. And I'll probably maybe put those on a slightly different layer, which means I need a new layer. And I'll put those on maybe a hidden 2, because I'm getting good at figuring these things out. Your choice, but so those can go on to hidden 2, which I don't really see much. And there we go. That's it. But I probably want to actually have, like, rename that leg and make another one called chair seat and back. And that one will be continuous. And that one will probably be 0.014. And that one will probably be 0.028. There we go. So now I have a top view of it. Oh, I did those backwards, didn't I? Well, that's okay. I'll go back and fix that. Oh, that's why. Let's see. That's on the 0 layer. That's, there we go. Those look a little bit too big, but that's okay. Okay? And now I want to make a block out of this so it's all one thing. It's all one thing. So I'm going to remember this. It's insert. There it is. Create a block. We talked about this a bunch on Tuesday, but it's never too much to talk about this. Create a block, and I'm going to put, call it a dining chair. And when I put that dining chair in, wherever I click, I want it to line up like that. And I'm going to pick my objects, and I'm going to say, okay. Now it's all one thing. And if I want to put another one in, I can just do that. And if I want to count blocks, I can find all of my blocks that have the name chair as an example if I wanted to, or I can export that. So now I have a chair. There we go, a top view of a chair. And for a floor plan, that's all I need. Isn't that groovy? Okay, and my suggestion is you save these in a file called blocks. Architectural blocks, something like that. Because now I can always open this up and go to my design center and find the blocks. And so if I have a whole mess of blocks already drawn in this one file, then I can do other cool stuff. So now I'm going to do another thing. I'm going to show you a new thing to do. If I want to know all about this chair, like width times height, width and depth and height, and what color it is and the material and where to buy it, I can do some cool stuff. I can define something called an attribute. And it's just some text. So I'm going to say width. And I use the same thing on all those. And I'm going to make it, for now, I'm going to make it invisible. Now I'm going to make it visible for right now. Normally I would make it invisible. And I'm going to make it teeny tiny instead. 0.06 tall. I'm going to put it right there. I'm going to do another one. Define width, depth, and normally I make these invisible, but then you wouldn't see it. Height. And I'm going to put one more down. I'm going to put manufacturer. Who do you get it from? Now, every time I put one of these in, it might be a little different, and I might get it from a different person. So I'm going to do a new thing. I'm going to create a new block. Dining chair. But I'm going to write ATT afterwards. It says it's got attributes. I'm going to do all the same stuff. I'm going to just select everything, including my words I put in there. Convert it to a block. And look, every time I put this in, it's going to ask me who I'm going to buy it from. J&J furniture. And the height is 41, and the depth is 25, and the width is 24. Those are there. And I can make those, I can do all sorts of stuff with this. Okay? But what's really cool is when I ask AutoCAD about this, all that information will come up. I don't think it comes up in the properties. It does. Look at that. The attributes, if I click on this thing then, there it is. So now, those of you who are doing landscape, do you get why I said to know all that information about it? You want to really have all that information in there so that when you click on it and you're talking about it, you know everything you need to know. If it's furniture, how big is it? How strong is it? What's it made out of? Where do you buy it? What color is it? What's the seat material? Okay? And then if it's a plant, you know, what's the name of it? How do you plant it? Where does it go? How much water do you put on it? All that kind of stuff. Yep. 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 And so you could do something like California landscape tree 15 foot. Oh, there we go. Native plants. There you go. Trees for California, Calscape. There you go. Just go there and find out, kind of pick something. Yeah. Now, for me, I don't care, right? Like, I'm not a landscaper. I'm going to care that you are able to sort of look at this thing and find out some information. Right? And look, it's kind of showing you where it goes. There's a picture. Oh, here's some basic things. Ooh, it gets pretty big. Right? Fast. Winter, flowering season. There it is. Sunlight, moisture. Oh, max 1 times a week. So you can, and I really don't care how much of this you put in, but find a site, and then the idea is that you're going to put this information in this attribute thing that I just demonstrated. Because it's really not hard. You just draw the thing. Let's say you were going to do a tree. So first thing I'm going to do is figure out, okay, how big is the tree? Diameter. Let's say it's 10 foot, so the diameter of 120 inches. And then maybe you go, well, that's kind of a clunky looking tree, so I'm gonna make it look kind of like whoop, that wasn't very well done. I gotta get rid of my snaps. So maybe that's the basis of your tree, and then what can you do? You can take all that and you can make a cool polar array about the base point, and maybe that becomes your tree, right? And so you'll make a block of it. I got to the wrong one there. Here it is. Create block. I don't know. I'm going to show off my talent. I'm going to call it Fraxinus. And I'll pick the center. And there we go. But now I want maybe some attributes. So it's define the attributes. So the first one is going to be height. And I'm still going to make it tiny letters. You can make it invisible, but often what I do is make it tiny letters and just make them like this really light color I can't see. Height, water, and soil. Now, it's real interesting is you can't have any spaces in this part, but when you're actually typing in your information, you can. Okay, so there we go. And now I'm going to create a new block, which is Fraxinus ATT. And there we go. It's going to ask you what kind of soil. Crummy. And water. Tons. And height. Huge. I don't know. You'll put in appropriate words, right? Look at that. Yeah, you would do something that makes sense. Like I would probably put in diameter or you know, whatever 3 or 4 things you as a landscaper think would make sense. I really don't care because it's easy to fix these and change them later on. And you're going to make tons of mistakes right now. And probably in 6 months after you've taken a cool horticulture class, you're going to go, duh, that was so dumb. I could really whip it out now. Okay? So long as you've got something, that would be cool. But look, when I go look at my property now, soil, water, height, it tells me about it. It is so cool. Okay? So that's how you do blocks. There. Any other good things that you want to know about? Are you stuck on anything in your own choices? Okay, and Janice, if you're doing interior design blocks of cabinetry, that's exactly where you're going to put width, depth, height, finish, right? And every time you put it in, is it oak? Is it mahogany? Is it melamine? Is it polish? Is it this? Hardware. Hardware always has different names for the hardware. How many shelves? Things like that. Does it have sliders? So this little idea here where I put in these attributes. Once you have them drawn, you'll put in these attributes. Okay. Okay, so the video and mechanical set is not working. Okay, let me see if I can find which one it is and figure out what's up with it. So if I go back, was it from Tuesday, you guys? Which one is it? Oh, I'm on 350. No wonder that's not working right. Is it this one right here, the mechanical press pull? Oh, it's in the module itself. Well, I could have just got the wrong one in there. So number 2, industry standard mechanical. This, oh my gosh, that's all messed up. Oh yeah, I remember that one was having all sorts of troubles. That doesn't look any better. But it works here, right? Let me catch it right from there. I'm doing nothing but making typos. There it goes. That's going to work. Okay, thank you guys. Okay. Much better. And it's the same one that was in the other one. So if you need any more help on that, let me know. Any other things? Okay, then I'm going to turn off the recording.